My name is Adrian Dobbie. I have been a member of O.T.O for over a decade now, and I'm currently serving as the President of the United Kingdom Grand Lodge Electoral College. The following is a reading of an article that I wrote that features in the Samhain 2013 EV issue of Pagan Dawn, the magazine of the Pagan Federation. It's the first article on the O.T.O in the magazine's long history, and it is very much thanks to the positive attitude towards the order displayed by the current editor, Atreyu Crimmins, that made publication of the article possible. It's largely meant as a primer, so for many of you the piece might only serve to tell you what you already know. However, I hope that those new to the O.T.O will find it of value, and if our more seasoned members also enjoy it, all the better. Love is the law, love under will. I first became aware of O.T.O, Ordo Templi Orientis, just over 20 years ago. In that age, just before the internet superseded good old books, I was casting around for a spiritual path that would click with me. I procured a copy of Magick in Theory and Practice by Aleister Crowley, and everything started to fall into place. My early experiences of Thelemic magic made me realise that I needed some elders who had trodden the path before me, who could guide me through a structured learning process, and rein me in when I was sticking my neck out too far. This led me to joining O.T.O back in the summer of 2003 EV, or Era Vulgaris, the Common Era. It was the best thing I ever did. O.T.O is much maligned and misunderstood. I decided to find out for myself what being a member actually entailed. I hope the following will shed some light and perhaps dispel some myths. And who knows, you might decide to take a closer look yourself. The Law of Thelema. In a letter dated March 1st, 1925, Aleister Crowley wrote in a letter to his magical son, Charles Stansfeld Jones, "We do not want the Law of Thelema to be the slogan of a few specially selected imbeciles, but to be accepted by the busy businessman as the sole solution of modern social difficulties." The law of which Crowley makes mention is well known. It is, of course, "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law," which is usually accompanied by the phrase, "Love is the law, love under will." Crowley spent the majority of his adult life right up until his death tirelessly promoting the Law of Thelema, which is Greek for will, which he maintained was not just a religious and spiritual instruction to be used by occultists, but a revelatory new message that could, and would, transform the lives of every man and every woman on the planet as the human race moved into a new era of consciousness. To Crowley and his small but loyal band of contemporaries, the Aeon of Horus marked the end of the era of the dying gods exemplified by Osiris, Jesus, and other sacrificed deities, and the heralding of a new phase in which humanity would be freed from the fetters of jealous gods, that each individual might achieve the state of godhood for themselves. This new aeon began in 1904 EV with the reception of Thelema's central holy text, Liber al vel Legis, more commonly known as the Book of the Law, or Liber al. In 1910 EV, some 6 years after the reception of Liber al, Crowley was admitted into O.T.O, a fringe Masonic group founded by German esoteric Freemasons with the aim of imparting certain tantric secrets in a format that could be readily digested by Westerners. 2 years later, Crowley became the head of the O.T.O in the English-speaking world, going on to become the outer head of the order in 1925 EV, following the death of his predecessor, Theodore Royce, in 1923 EV. Crowley reformulated the order's degree ceremonies, infusing them with the Law of Thelema and removing any unnecessary Masonic flab. But, all the while, the central secret passed on from his predecessors remained at the pinnacle of the system. Yet, during his lifetime, Crowley never saw O.T.O gain the traction he envisaged. After his death, the order went into a period of relative stagnation until the early 70s, when it was revived in California under emergency powers by Major Grady Lewis McMurtry, a one-time student of Crowley's. The modern O.T.O owes an enormous debt of gratitude to McMurtry for effectively saving the order from the brink of extinction. Grady died in 1985 EV, but the Order has continued to grow, with the current worldwide membership numbering in the region of 3,500, now active in at least 21 countries, with 3 full-fledged Grand Lodges serving the US, UK and Australia. O.T.O is the most successful occult organisation of the modern age, but to see it purely as an occult order is to do O.T.O a grave injustice. The Blue Equinox. It is a lesser-known fact that O.T.O sets forth a model for an entirely new form of society with the central tenet of do what thou wilt at its core. It is for this reason that Crowley wished to make clear to his star pupil Stansfeld Jones, also known as Frater Akkad, that Thelema was the sole arbiter of all human interaction in the new aeon. Do what thou wilt, as Crowley said, is the strictest possible bond. If rightly understood, it solves all questions of philosophy and ethics, since it places the entire responsibility for any action squarely at the feet of the individual. Rightly understood, do what thou wilt is not a license to indulge every passing whim, but an instruction to each individual to find their true purpose in life, and then to do it with unswerving passion, diligence, and joy. The qualities of duty, courage, independence, and above all, freedom and liberty of the individual are cornerstones of the Thelemic philosophy that Crowley espoused. Thelemites, those who accept the law of Thelema, the world over, whether members of O.T.O or not, strive to cultivate those qualities in their daily lives, whether in the temple, the home, at leisure, or in the workplace. Those who seek companionship and structure to aid them in attaining their true purpose in life, referred to by Thelemites as the true will find in O.T.O a welcome that is hard to surpass. I have personally found that sharing my journey with others treading a similar path has helped enormously in developing an understanding of myself and others in a way that working alone could never have done. The structure of O.T.O is laid out in several key documents, many of which are collected in Volume 3, Number 1 of Crowley's famous journal, The Equinox. This issue of the journal is known as the Blue Equinox, since it was bound in blue, and today the model being worked towards by the O.T.O is referred to as the Blue Equinox model. Tracts such as Liber 101 and Liber 194, an intimation with reference to the constitution of the order, and an open letter to those who may wish to join the order, give clear instructions on how the order should develop, along with the rights, privileges and so on accorded to each member dependent upon their place within the system. Building the pyramid. O.T.O is unashamedly hierarchical. It has a system of government of which I am now part, with authority devolving from the top down. It is essentially non-democratic. It might seem paradoxical at first to think that a body of strong-willed, fierce individualists would wish to submit themselves to a rigid structure. But just as Socrates argues in Republic, Hobbes in Leviathan, or Rousseau in The Social Contract, it is perhaps far better to work under some form of authority than no authority at all. The human body, after all, is useless without a skeleton. The membership is divided into 3 levels, or triads, that are defined by the initiatory degrees held by those in each triad. These triads are known as the Man of Earth, Lover, and Hermit. The Man of Earth degrees explore the profound mysteries of existence. Celebrated and studied in 3 classes of local body called camps, oases, and lodges, the degrees correspond to the key stages of the life of every individual, from conception through birth, life, death, and what may occur after. The Man of Earth degrees perform several specific functions. Primarily, they are undertaken for the benefit of the candidate's own personal and spiritual development. The purpose of the Man of Earth experience is to provide the candidate with a challenging, yet beautifully crafted series of real-life initiatory rituals that may be viewed as a species of interactive psychotherapy. They also offer something of a rarity in the modern day, a series of rites of passage that correspond to key stages in one's life. At the same time, they impart, via symbol and allegory, extremely valuable information regarding the innermost teachings of O.T.O. From a magical perspective, The Man of Earth initiations can be extremely potent in stirring up hidden or latent facets of the initiate's being. If the rituals are engaged with seriously and sincerely, they can be hugely transformative, which is, of course, the whole point. Having been through that entire process myself, I can report that the initiations work on an extremely deep level indeed. That these degrees are open to all is vital. We hold that every man and woman who is free, of full age, and good report has an indefeasible right to these degrees. So we aren't just looking for occultists or pagans, although they are always most welcome to join us. The initiatory degrees beyond the Man of Earth are invitational only, and are primarily concerned with service, and they cannot be discussed here. Magick. Each O.T.O initiate is encouraged to undertake the great work of coming to the true knowledge of self. Since O.T.O is a fraternal order, much of this work involves group ritual, but it must be understood that the core O.T.O teachings are found in two specific places. Firstly, the secret initiation ceremonies, and secondly, our central ritual, public and private, the Gnostic Mass. Local bodies of O.T.O invariably run workshops, ritual meetings, celebrations of Thelemic feast days and discussions on Thelemic topics, but these will vary from body to body depending on the expertise and interests of the members. Having run two such bodies myself, I know how challenging keeping up a regular schedule can be, but I learned a great deal in the process. Many people approach O.T.O expecting some kind of rigid study program, but those coming to the order for this reason may well face disappointment. While recommendations are made at certain points regarding pertinent practices and areas of study, O.T.O leaves the individual to his or her own personal work. This is as it should be, since O.T.O holds a mirror up to the individual and allows them to conquer aspects of themselves under their own steam. If they succeed, then that is their proof. I found that the only person stopping me from engaging more fully was myself, an extremely valuable lesson in life. For most Thelemites, magic is a journey inward into the core of their being so that it may be more fully expressed in the world. We are not interested in creating occultists, unless it be their will, but we are in the business of creating magicians, since magic, as Crowley rightly said, is the art of life itself. We find great lessons are learned as we cooperate with our sisters and brothers in hiring venues, building and maintaining temple equipment, rehearsing and performing ritual, delighting in the senses, and of course, supporting each other as true brethren. Strong fraternal bonds grow between those who come together under the banner of O.T.O, and great transformation occurs as a result. The Law of Thelema is not an easy thing to deal with, and it is made even more dynamic when one is duty-bound to fight at the side of one's comrades in the cause of freedom according to the law of liberty. The Gnostic Mass. O.T.O is often thought of as having a basis in sex magic. While this may be true, one must be careful not to conflate tabloid sensationalism with the truth of the matter. Insofar as the sexual component of the order may be discussed here, O.T.O cannot exist without the active participation of both female and male. This vital aspect of our work is expressed most fully via the Gnostic Mass, a Eucharistic rite of singular beauty that celebrates the miracle of incarnation. This is achieved through the symbolic marriage of masculine and feminine, the god and the goddess, the finite and the infinite, from which all manifestation springs. If you ever get the chance to attend one as a guest, seize the opportunity. In the Gnostic Mass, all the secrets of the O.T.O system are symbolically laid bare, and much may be gleaned from its study and celebration. Moving forward, O.T.O has many mountains to climb before the full glory of the plans laid down by Crowley are realised, and each member has the opportunity to impact on whether those goals ever come to fruition. But our influence on society continues through the work of each unique star in the body of the goddess Nuit. O.T.O is a unique order. It has no real parallel anywhere in the occult world, and as the custodian of Aleister Crowley's legacy, it is unsurpassed. We work voluntarily and willingly towards the full emancipation of mankind. Each must decide for themselves whether they will to join with us, but our door is always open. Should you yourself decide to enter, There may be a local body near you. I am privileged to count O.T.O as a vital and extraordinarily dynamic force in my life. It continues to assist me in the path of self-knowledge in ways I genuinely believe are unique to its system. I owe this all to the man that they call the Great Beast. Thank you, Mr. Crowley.